So in 1.5 months, my game went from this to this, and finally to this. So let's go back to the beginning. Okay, wait, that's just too far. Let's move just a little bit back.
Do you like what you see?
Now, let's continue. So I was on my phone, watching some devlog as usual. Yes, I watched some devlogs, and by watching a little bit of those devlogs, it pretty much inspired me to make another game. This time, well, about samurais. I fired up the computer and decided to get to work. The game project itself wasn't really difficult because I took the codes from Towers of Tiles, and trust me, it was easy. Okay, it really wasn't. It was quite a hassle, but I got tired of this character and changed it into this ninja, which I got from Mixamo. And from there, I decided to implement attacks such as light attack and also heavy attacks. Then I decided to add things like abilities such as shadow clones for no reason, and I guess dashing. But the dashing, it didn't work. Later on, I added a dummy to test blood and damages, and when I was done, I thought it was time to add some intelligence. So step 1 was detection, which allows the enemy to at least detect the player and follow him around. Pretty much simple, right? Well, until I discovered this, when you put yourself behind an object, it really can't follow. It pretty much runs on the same wall. I think I have to add some pathfinding script and anything, but I will do that later. The second problem was when you lock onto the enemy and you decide to damage him, this is what happens.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Now the next thing was I fixed it. Of course, I fixed it. I didn't leave it like that, and I decided to try a bit more combat and see how it works, and discovered another problem, and that is, well, he does hit you, you can hit him back, and everything looks like it's working. But once you start running in a circle and you also run in a circle, well, you keep running like this forever. The next step was detecting if abilities could work in this game, so I decided to add a shadow clones which would distract the enemy and, well, explode at the right time. And after using this for a while, I realized that the plan I had for this game were just too huge for me, so I dropped it and changed it completely, and I had a new character. So next thing I did was adding some details. For example, the sword right here, when you're not equipped, it pretty much looks over there, but when you remove it, the sword disappears. The next thing was camera shake. Those tiny effects actually do a whole lot of changes in the game. There was the backstab I added. I forgot about that. I also added some repost, basic souls or dark souls, whatever mechanics. Next thing was, I still didn't fix the problem. As you can see, those still running over here. It's not stopping now. It won't stop now. Not ever. I'm not really sure. Anyways, from this point on, the game looked, pretty much normal, right? No problem at all, right? Well,
What are you doing? What are you doing? Helicopter!
solving these bugs were just a whole lot for me. I did finish solving them, or at least did solve a little bit of some of them. Like the first one, it turns normally now. Hooray for that. Wasn't really difficult. The other one, he's still. We'll get there. So it was time for him to add some abilities. So the first and the most important ability that I added was the Judgment Zone. Of course, big zone kills enemy one hit. Simple as that. Of course, it doesn't work on bosses or high rank enemies. Through sight allows you to see through walls and to see through things. Levitation made you float in case there's big spaces. Teleportation was self-explanatory. Plus the grapple hook, which to be honest, it took me a whole lot longer than I thought. I think I felt like 46 times, but I'm just going to show you what I mean right now. Okay, now you see what I was talking about. Okay, on to the enemies. You should already know enemies are basically created to hurt the player. But you know what doesn't hurt the player? Subscribing to my channel and liking this video. Now, about the first enemy is just a really smart enemy that, as usual, can parry you and riposte you. This is not news to you, buddy. Let's move on. The thing is, I forgot one ability left. The heavy smash. Of course, we'll talk about that in another video when we talk about abilities. For the second enemy, he just explodes when he's near you. Very much simple, you can just avoid him. The third enemy, well, difficult. He opens his own judgment zone and explodes next to you, which is instant death. Of course, if you know judgment zone, that's what it does to you. The fourth one can summon, well, magic spikes from the ground. I don't really know why I do that because this guy the ability. I rarely even dodge it myself. The fifth one does almost the same thing, but he will tend to attack you instead of exploding. At least he's not suicidal, so that's a bonus. And also hurting them in their own judgment zone will not really do anything. But if they get a hold of you, yeah, you'll die. You'll probably die. As to as the archers, the first one really shoots normal arrows at you, but the second one is not really that forgiving. And for the last enemy, he just throws bomb at you. Now, all of these enemies are there to make the game difficult. So next time, I'll talk about some of the hidden details I've hidden in the game. Pretty much cool mechanics also I've added to make the game at least fair, since I'm going to make it a lot difficult. Anyways, Nehodesu out.